I'm Chris Williams from Cyclone Fanatic and a proud Iowa State graduate from the class of 2007. No one shows up like Iowa State fans. And Cyclones support Cyclones on and off the field. Your gift can provide scholarships to students, fund groundbreaking research. We could even drum up opportunities for the marching band. Visit MoveWhatMatters.com to learn how you can make an impact today.
%10 of all the new cars sold in Iowa come from the Carl Auto Group. Our neighbors trust us to have the largest selection and the highest standards. To our current customers, thank you. And to our future customers, see for yourself why Carl drives Iowa.
Your dealer for life, it's the Carl way.
Chris Williams, Brent Blum, from the Wild Rose Casino Studio. It's Williams and Blum, presented by Mechdyne, on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network.
What is up? Welcome to Williams and Blum here on your Wednesday. It's the 21st of May, 2025. We're presented as always by Mechdyne. We are back in studio for the first time in really a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's funny.
What? A Turtles Cup is still here. I'm so excited I got the Turtles Cup this morning.
I don't know if you're like me, and I'm somewhat aware with everything going on in your transition and just everything that's happening in your world, but everybody says to me, "Oh, you got nothing to do this time of year." In a weird way, it's almost busier because, like, when you get in season, there's like routine. It's like, yeah, well, we got to get to Wednesday. Okay, Clones play again on Saturday. You don't do a lot of like sales and business development and all that stuff. And like this time of year, it's like yesterday I had 6 meetings.
Look at you.
Like, it's exhausting. By the end of the day, you're just like, oh my God, what did I even just do?
You're tapped out.
Yeah. But no, it's
nice that.
But we haven't had time to get into studio is the point I was going to. So it's good to be here.
It's good to be back. Yeah. And again, the coffee.
I have my Ivy College of Business mug.
Are you like me? Do you have preferred mugs?
My Ivy College of Business mug.
Right. Like I like the Turtles mug and I like my Ivy College of Business mug.
Everybody knows we need to get like a little Sharpie and just put BB on that. It's your mug.
Well, it is my mug. And I was always a Donatello guy. No, but like even
you would be a Donatello guy. The quiet intellect.
That's right. At my house, I have probably 20 coffee mugs. I think I use 2 of them.
Yeah.
Like I have my Cyclones versus the World is the main one. I know it's something.
I have the same thing at home.
Having my own mugs.
The one I always gravitate to is probably the cheapest, most basic mug. It's a restaurant from the Lake of the Ozarks, Stewart's. It's a one of the favorite stomping grounds of Coach Otzelberger, by the way.
There you go.
But it's probably like a $2 mug, and I use it all the time.
There you go.
And Aiden and Jacqueline got me a Michael Scott World's Best Boss mug.
Well, that's fitting.
Use that a lot too.
Do you agree with that, Aiden?
They're just
wholeheartedly.
Yeah, right.
Yes, sir. Yes, boss.
Yes, boss.
Freaking kiss ass. I'm not stupid.
So
I know when I'm being manipulated. Okay.
Not a whole lot of
long game.
Not a whole lot of sports action this week on the college front. I mean, as far as activities, the tailgate tour is ongoing.
Yeah,
it looks like it's been a successful trip.
Rob and Connor were at that in Ankeny on Monday, and not a lot of news.
No,
Jamie was he was much more laid back than he was with that Elijah Moore.
Yeah. I mean,
what are you gonna say? Like,
we'll kind of get into some of the stuff, but it's very much wait and see mode still on the settlement. Still hasn't happened, but everybody's making plans, and I think Jamie's made it pretty clear, as I will as well. It's just there's got to be creativity. The new president lining up at the same time as all this stuff going on. It's an important time for Iowa State, but at least in the short term, it's pretty quiet out there.
Yeah, this will be a heavy NIL/business show.
There's not much else going on.
Yeah, well, but there is a bombshell report that came out this week that we're going to try and shed some light on.
Got some questions about it on the forum, so happy to chat.
Yeah, so that is going to be the main part of today's show. And if you don't like that, I guess we're just being honest with our audience and telling you that's what's coming. You don't have to listen to this show. But that is going to be the number one topic of the day. I did want to hit some basketball scheduling real quick, as we probably should shed some light on the non-conference schedule right now, and it's looking pretty tough. I've heard rumblings, and it's not public, and I don't know if it's official. The Vegas draw is tough, from what I've heard.
All the schools it's loaded.
Yeah, and I don't think Iowa State's getting like a cupcake draw with that group. So that's going to be a really good tournament. Possibly you go 0-3. I mean, I'm saying like you don't want to, but it's possible. Like a good team.
You're going to play multiple ranked teams out there.
A good team could go 0-3 in that, is what I'm saying.
Just like Connecticut did in Maui last year.
Right? Like it's not my projection.
Which was hilarious looking back, as old Hurley threw a fit that whole week. Mm-hmm, basically took his bomb going home, and then they got bounced pretty early again.
So then you got the Mississippi State happening in Sioux Falls now, which is cool. That is a huge upgrade to whatever that would have been on the schedule.
Yep.
Also have the home and home with Purdue.
Yep.
That has previously been. So we're not breaking any news here. They also announced yesterday an exhibition. So it looks like a home and home 2-year thing with Creighton. And that's cool. We had heard rumblings about them trying to do this last year.
We've tried for the last couple of years, honestly, to help NIL.
Yes.
And just never could get off the ground for a couple of reasons, which I don't need to get into. But it sounds like this is going to become a lot more of the norm. Now, does it directly help NIL? I mean, everything kind of does now, I would guess.
Yeah, because it's all in the same pool starting July 1.
And this is why some of these things will happen now, is they'll sell tickets to these things. Now, it looks like, this year it's in Omaha, and then 26 is in Ames, and I'm going to guess Iowa State and Creighton split the proceeds, and that'll go directly to the athletic department budget, which again is all coordinated now.
Correct. So you got to stop thinking of it like
it's not NIL, like it's rep. That's why I'm encouraging people to
quit saying the word
NIL, just revenue.
Yeah.
There's more revenue
Yeah.
for these schools, and then this is where it's all going now, which is. We'll dovetail into our other conversation. I think it's great. I mean, Iowa State's played Creighton for 10 years in a row. It just hasn't been public.
Correct.
Let's just put it public.
Well, and it works because the two coaches are so close that they have the same motivation going into it. The communication lines are up. I've heard stories of these where back in the day, oh, well, this assistant has a relationship with that assistant, and then the two schools get to these like closed scrim, and they have totally different objectives on what they want to accomplish.
Some will run like situational basketball.
The other one's trying to run like a true scrimmage, and and it doesn't work. Well, this will be like an actual game. The way it's being presented is right.
Officials, go like all the bells and whistles. It might even be on TV. I don't know.
Like even like when Greg was the coach at Iowa State, they played exhibitions.
Yes.
It's like the Marathon Oil's coming in.
We're kind of regressing back to the mid-2000s now.
Good.
In some of this way, because these schools all need extra revenue sources, essentially, and they can't just say, oh, well, we're going to keep it behind. And interestingly, C-Dub, you've been barking up this tree for a while, and I think you're onto something. It would behoove all of these athletic departments to get a lot more public-facing things.
Yes, yeah.
And I know but even charge a little bit here or there. Like, honestly, I'm looking into, could Iowa State do some game-worn jerseys and basketballs and all sorts of stuff just like the professional franchises do. Mm-hmm. I think it doesn't help these schools anymore to be secretive of all this stuff of like, oh, the fans can't handle it. Like, I think the more open you're about all these things, not just financially, but just being approachable, having more access, I would, and I know football doesn't listen to me, but I would encourage them to have more opportunities to engage with fans as well. Like, the only way you're going to grow your fan base going forward when people are getting asked and asked and asked and asked is to do more creative things. And the whole secretive thing, like if the NFL can have open practices during the summer, why can't?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just
you're
kind
preaching
of
to the choir here.
My feeling here.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like football really has zero appetite for that.
Yes.
And I think they view it more as not we're trying to keep it from our fans, but like everything is a competitive advantage thing. Now, maybe, just maybe, if the whole industry starts to go one way. But there are other schools, there's not many anymore, who like open practices right? So
it's not a lot, but honestly,
and most of them don't do anything at those days. It's like they're just handing it off up the middle. And
would it be crazy? It won't be this season, but in the coming years, where there's an exhibition game,
no,
for football, because that's another
I've always
potential
thought
ticket price
with the amount of scholarships that football has, where most of these now. I say that, and last year they played like 105 guys. So, but like, I would have always loved to see like scout team games.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's as interesting now with all the transfers. Like there's less and less development, but at Iowa State, you still have that.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe you go to a local high school and you and South Dakota State play a scout team game, or I don't know.
Yeah,
because it's not going to be another Big 12 type school. They're not going to do that.
They won't do
at that level. Maybe you and Drake would. I'm just thinking out loud, like you have that connection to Kempt over there, and Woodley's an Iowa State guy, right? Like maybe you go down to Drake Stadium in their new deal, and you play. We're going to bring our scout team to play your scout team, and we're going to make some money.
I think that, Chris, I think it would make, and again, injuries are the big wild card.
Understood.
But
they're hitting anyway.
You make the week one games a lot better if you have some sort of activity, because those games a lot of times are just really sloppy. You got people cramping everywhere. You got If I'm the czar of college football, I allow every team to play an exhibition game. I mean, again, if we're going to treat this like professional sports, let's go.
They play preseason games, and they're on TV.
And they're on TV.
We get to watch them, and then we ask them questions afterwards, and then the fans can tweet about it. And why is college athletics so secretive? And then at this point, too, let's just do the injury report thing.
I agree.
Right? Like, come on. But I actually think that would help these coaches because then they wouldn't feel like they're giving something up.
Correct.
It's like, no, it's just a requirement, so we just have to do
play
it.
Along.
Yeah. And they're all getting like paid now. So that I mean, I'm sure HIPAA is still a thing, but it's not as like there's got to be ways around that with sports. And
well, here's where we're going. I mean, as we get down the road here of collective bargaining, government intervention, there are ways to get around the HIPAA stuff and public sharing.
I'm going to let you kind of just lay out the Dellinger piece from this week because you can describe it better. I want to thank a couple quick sponsors real quick. Gravitate Co-working, of course. Gravitate. I want to say that again. GravitateCoworking.com. Give them a shout out. We love them. You can check out all the great co-working spaces in Des Moines and just anywhere really in the metro. HopewoodJD.com. HopewoodJD.com. You get your will done in a day. Shout out to Kelderman Manufacturing as well. Go to that YouTube page over at Kelderman. See the cool custom things they can do to your big ass diesel truck. And they do a lot more down there. But that's like the most aesthetically, like you can physically go and look at it and you'll see Kelderman with all these like, country music stars and stuff. Pretty cool. Okay, so Dellinger report comes out and basically it's like I'm gonna dumb it down and then you tell me what I'm missing.
Yes. And by the way, we've talked about some of these things previously, but this is now official.
So it's basically the group. The idea of this is that the Power Four and whoever else wants to be a part of it, Boise can if they want to be, like whoever. All right, so the House is going to put us at 20.5, and we're basically going to do like a blood oath that we're not going to circumvent this. Which is funny because it's like I've heard that before in college athletics. I actually liked what the Oklahoma athletic director said in some speech that he gave a couple of weeks ago. It was quoted in this article about, we keep doing this to ourselves.
Oh, 100%.
Like, and he's right.
At some point, it's not the NCAA's fault. It's like the schools are
you
trying
all are a bunch of cheaters.
That's it. Like I'm
You're a bunch of greedy cheaters.
I have some grace for the NCAA. Now, did they screwed it up?
Yes.
But the NCAA is made up of the schools who continued to cheat the system because they think it helped them. And
Correct.
Nobody slapped them on the wrist.
So now, and like, so this kind of comes to light because Chris Hassel and I have been pounding this on our show about how, like, I feel like, and again, I'm speaking out of turn. You're the professional one here. So if I say anything, like, but I just feel like our state house is completely ass backwards in the way that this is being viewed. I hope some things come to light. I hope some things happen.
In regards to state
we gotta
support
do something to help our schools.
Universities.
Yes. You've got to do something to help our schools. Quit acting like it's 1995. We need to treat these like professional sports for the economy in the state of Iowa. Okay, I'll rest on that.
Yeah, so
Tennessee comes out and basically says, we're going to make it legal for you to
do whatever the heck
the hell you want.
The schools.
Yes.
To pay over the cap.
Correct.
Yeah. Or whatever else they want to do to compensate athletes.
So then, dumb question to you, but explain this. So how can a state legislature deem that it is legal for them to pay over whatever the House settlement cap is?
Because they have more authority than this entity that's created. And so the game, this is the dumb part about our world right now, but also what everyone's trying to do to get an advantage. Like again, everybody makes decisions that benefit them, not the greater good. So Tennessee football, huge deal. They're chasing a championship they haven't for a long time.
Arguably not more valuable, but more liked than their professional franchise in Nashville.
There's no question.
Right.
I mean, there's 120,000 people that go to those games.
And all those alumni. And,
so, passed this week by the governor of Tennessee, and they have been on the forefront of this. Their attorney general sued the NCAA 2 years ago that got us in this mess. Tennessee's to blame for a lot of the situation we're in, the state of Tennessee. Thanks a lot, guys. Well, anyway, they decided to double down this week. And so this House settlement would set up essentially a salary cap that if you go around it, there'll be huge penalties. Tennessee signed a law last week that said, no, our schools are exempt from that because our state law goes over and above whatever entity that you create out of this clearinghouse. It was basically a big FU to anybody that would try and penalize Tennessee in that. Well, circulating at the exact same time for this exact reason, because you know what? Once Tennessee passes this, guess who else is going to pass it? Florida, Georgia, Alabama. It's just going to go throughout the entire SEC. And then our folks up in Iowa
and we've seen this with just NIL laws in general. This is how it started.
Guys, Missouri, which isn't that far away, they can pay high school kids from their athletic departments right now if they stay in the state. They have a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Huge advantage. Right now, the state of Iowa can't even get funds to the athletic department from the school. And you've got some of these states that are literally saying, we can go over the cap. We'll take our general fund from our state and give it over the cap. Mm-hmm. I was just trying to get a little extra money to help out.
Yeah, we're not trying to do anything crazy here.
No, I would say honestly,
give our schools a chance.
We are way behind what a lot of these schools are doing, and it's got to change. But that's and hopefully we get there. But this is a power play by Tennessee to basically tell this new entity, screw you, we're above you, we'll do what we want. Well, what's circulated in conjunction with this, because this is going to happen everywhere else now, is officials from the Big Ten, the SEC, the Big 12, and the ACC, the Big Four, are creating an agreement that you cannot use your state law to supersede whatever this agreement is from these schools that participate in this agreement. Meaning, if you do this, you will get penalized severely and potentially be kicked out of your conference. Now, everyone knows
who's in charge of this. So this would be basically
it's a totally new entity
for the four power conferences that is separate of the NCAA.
The NCAA is out of this now. This is a completely new mechanism set up just for the power schools.
Right. Okay.
Which is awesome because it's like we all know the Power 4 schools are different than everybody else. So it's nice to have their own set of rules.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what they're going to do is this group, it's launching literally in the next couple of weeks. They're hiring a commissioner for this group. It's almost like a college football czar, honestly, that will legislate if somebody's trying to circumvent or go around the cap and cheat. And if you do, you will be penalized severely, either loss of eligibility from a player that tries to do it, but more severely, schools could have major financial penalties and potentially be kicked out of competition and or the conference.
I have two gut reactions to this.
And so the point is they're going to try and now either way, there's going to be a lawsuit. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that was one of my gut reactions.
But you're trying to get out ahead of it.
Yeah.
And say
you're going to get sued no matter
anyway.
what. Yeah.
So let's put our cards on the table. This is the goal. It's just like any negotiation. You put all your cards out and then you figure out, okay, how can we make this work within the confines? Because the goal is that everyone knows they're getting sued, right? Like it's going to happen. There's going to be a lawsuit. And I want to get into one other thing about it's not a hard cap, by the way. They will allow NIL deals over and above the cap as long as it goes through this clearinghouse that can approve legit NIL purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
Which really interesting statistics in that article about what was it, like 70% of the booster ones would not have been approved. 90% of the business ones would have been.
Yes.
Which none of that surprises me.
Which we've been saying all along, like these schools will still be able to go over that 21 million, but it has to have legit fair market value NIL.
Correct.
It cannot just come from Tennessee state over the top, which is what they want. Tennessee wants to throw another 20 million from the state just straight to NIL. That's what the goal with that law is. So that will still be allowed to an extent, but it has to have legit NIL. So my example I've always told, the purchase more ham and bacon thing that we had through Iowa Pork, totally allowed. That was it was very nice of them to do. It wasn't a huge amount. It wasn't a big spend. Or our friends at Fairway with Audie Crooks, that'll still be allowed. That'll be over and above what they get from the cap. But what won't be allowed is these collectives still existing in the same capacity and just taking money and just giving it to athletes.
Makes sense.
It has to have a purpose. And that's what they're trying to shut down. And in regards to Iowa State, this is only a good thing.
Yeah. So you hit on my two guts. One, there will be lawsuits. I'm not sure if this is legal.
I don't know either. It's going to be either way. There's going to be a lawsuit.
Two, if it does happen, this is a good thing.
Honestly, this article was the best thing I've read that everyone's trying to fix this that I've seen in the last 2.5 years, because this train is completely running down the tracks. And this is like, we're trying to slow it down and we know we're going to get sued. But so the goal here, C-Dub, is everyone agrees to this in the short term. And yes, somebody will then sue for collusion. 100%. It's going to happen.
Because it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's wording around it. Like there's still some gray area depending on who's deciding what.
It's loose collusion.
It's so they know they're going to get sued by somebody, mainly attorneys who are trying to make a buck.
Yeah, like if I'm a lawyer for a player, I could make an argument.
Oh, and there already are.
Yeah, like that's my point. But it doesn't mean it will stand up.
If in the short term, C-Dub, you get all these schools to agree to this, that they're not going to push it, then it's going to take somebody to sue to make it okay to then allow. So you're buying a little time. And in that time, this is why I say that, in that time, the goal is now to go to Congress, go to the president and say, codify this by law to make sure this is okay. Because if you codify it by law and you get that antitrust exemption, guess what? There go the lawsuits. So it's a dual prong play. We're buying ourselves time by we're all going to agree with this in the short term. Well, nobody's going to push it.
Yeah, and that's great because everybody needs to work together.
And then we're going to go to Congress and say we need this. And honestly, I think they have a chance.
So my third thought in everything in the last 10 days. Well, one, this seems great if it can happen. I'm skeptical that it can.
You're right to be skeptical.
I'm skeptical of everything, including what I'm about to say. But it also I'm just reading. Dellinger's as good as it gets. Oh,
that guy's locked in. Yeah, Thamel had a good article too.
Yeah. Like these guys are. It's not the Bible, but it's as close as you can get. Because this article doesn't come out unless somebody wants it out. I just know enough about how the media works. He's not just roguely putting this out with all these sources and everything. So they're using him to get this information out to shape public opinion. The other thing I keep falling back on, where I'm reading about Tennessee, and I'm reading because I think it's really hard for just idiots like me to fully understand the state government of Tennessee versus this entity, and like
that's brand new.
Like how can they just like circumvent that? Like it boggles my mind.
Yep.
Where and everybody needs to chill out with what I'm about to say because everything's so polarizing right now. I don't give a shit if he's a Republican, Democrat, purple man from the moon. Okay, man, it sure feels like something from the president, and I don't know if it will be good. Like I need to see what it would be, and I don't know if like these executive orders that we've heard about are illegal. I don't know if they could hold up, but like God, like there's got to be something that is like this is how it's going to be, and it's illegal. You could go to jail if you try and circumvent it.
That's the play,
right?
That's exactly the play.
Like. And I hope, here's my hope, is that Trump, who's in office, is a populist, right? Like, is that fair?
I think
the way he has...
I mean, he tried to save college football during COVID. Remember that?
Right. So, like, my hope would be that Trump would do this for the betterment of the entire sport, not just the elitist Big Ten.
But those schools don't want it either because they're running out of money, too. Like, I think...
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
I guess what I'm saying is
not running out of money, but
love or hate Donald Trump, and I guarantee we got all sorts of opinions on that. But I think whatever route he would go would benefit Iowa State. Is that a decent read?
Yeah. Any regulations benefits Iowa State at this point. Whether it's from Trump, Congress, it doesn't matter. Because essentially, the battle we're going to have here are the schools versus attorneys. This is what schools versus attorneys and agents. And the players are kind of mixed in between. This probably, C-Dub, would hurt the top 1% of athletes because they're going to get capped. This
is like Travis Hunter and Shadir Sanders aren't going to get as much.
But do you know who will benefit? Everybody else.
Yeah. Which is how it should be. Like, let's...
So I think you're right. It's not a political thing. And that's the play.
Well,
is you have this document, everybody agrees to it, because then that's pretty powerful. If everyone goes to Congress and the president says we want this done, and then the only people fighting against it are attorneys and agents.
Yeah,
what do you think is going to win out on the populism front?
Well, and frankly, I think there's a real political play here too. Like if you're Trump. If you're the GOP right now, like, because you look at the other side in some of the arguments that have been made, and again, like I keep using it's Ted Cruz and Cory. Congratulations, Ted Cruz and Cory Booker.
They are working together on this, by the way.
Yeah, I know, and it seems better now. Like, but you think about like 2 years ago, there's some clips of Cory Booker talking that could be pulled that don't look great for like the general fan of college sports. Very pro player, and again, his basis I don't think is wrong. Like I think our industry screwed this up 30 years ago, and we didn't move fast enough. I always say evolve or die. Yeah, we about died because we didn't evolve. I think that some of that coming to light now, the way it all shapes out, would look bad on that side. And like if you're Trump, again, you have to be able to separate this, people. I'm not if you are Donald Trump and you're a populist, you could say, "Wow, look at this. We are the party we're saving the concept of amateurism in college athletics, right or wrong." Mm-hmm. And then you could pull your rival on the other side. Then it looks elitist. Frankly, it's not helping the women's basketball player at Drake.
Correct.
Right? Like
that's the play.
Yeah.
Like we want to save all of college sports.
We're here to save all these scholarships, all these opportunities, not just to get lawyers and
I don't even think that's a drastic thought process either.
Okay, so I'm not out of turn.
This is the game plan now, and we'll see.
And then those people will sue.
Oh, there's going to be a lot.
Yeah,
but if it's codified into law,
correct,
you can't. I mean, this is the thing. It's like. Everyone's like, oh, it's just going to be a lawsuit. Well, yeah, until there's a law that says you can't.
Which is why we think that like just a strong hand from somewhere is probably a good thing here.
Yeah, you need a heavy hand from somebody, and now it's literally Trump Saban and this Cody Campbell guy.
And Cody Campbell is the billionaire oil guy from Texas Tech, which is actually a good thing that we got that guy in our corner.
More and more, all these schools agree that this is not just, everyone is saying the same thing. Yeah. Even the Big Ten, the SEC schools are like, this is not going to work.
Yeah. And that's why they're kind of working with the Big 12 and the ACC here.
This is of all the things in college football, people actually do agree that there need to be parameters here. And I think fans do as well. Like, nobody likes the current
Everybody
system.
hates it. Coaches, I think even the players are stressed out by it, frankly.
They are. And the Olympic sports are going to get hosed here really soon.
Yeah.
Like, they got like a year left.
Did you hear me telling Hassel they should drop Iowa baseball? I'm dead serious.
Well, I mean,
all the travel, all the expenses with equipment when it comes to college baseball, like, good luck, Iowa, if you got to compete with Michigan and Ohio State now.
That's what humored me about that one state legislature who, again, they're not going to give any money to help out the actual cause, but they want to have baseball back. It's like, what are you talking about?
That's just absolute grandstanding at its finest. But unbelievable.
It's like, you got to, I do think, and I've talked to people at Iowa State, like, you're way too optimistic about this, but I do think we're getting closer to maybe some clarity here. Like, this next 6 months for college athletics will hopefully save what's left, because if it goes down the path 10 years from now, it's a 10-team invitational. Yes. And even those 10 teams don't like it. Yeah, now, they'll win.
Yeah.
But
will they? Like, it's
Chris, I mean, here's
the
problem.
Will, but I don't think that if it's let's say a 20-team Super League. Just I don't think the sport will be as popular long term.
It won't, but even though of those 20 teams, only 10 can really compete.
I understand that, but I don't think Iowa State fans will just be like, okay, I'm going to pick a team from that.
No, you're right.
I don't think that they will. Their TV ratings would go down. I think their revenue. Sure, they may get, like, Tennessee may still have 100,000 people going to these games, but I don't think because the product isn't the NFL. That's their problem.
I do think. I've seen it a little bit now. We've changed the leadership in college athletics is starting to see, hey, we got to look more at the NFL, not just what our TV partners say we should do.
Yeah.
Because
I hope you're right.
The TV partners they're dying too in some ways. And so they're trying to milk it down by squeezing the pot. And I think everyone's realizing, wait a second.
Well, in competition now, they've got.
Let's open it back up. And that's where between the
Netflix stock price lately.
Yeah. And there's a better system out there, and everybody's got to wake up to quit complaining about NIL and say, we have a really popular product that a lot of people care about that benefits so many different areas. And do we like that we've got 19 and 20-year-olds making over $1 million? You could argue if they're worth it or not. But you got to participate, but you got to have guardrails in it. And I would encourage the players to, and the agents and everybody is like, you are going to kill the sport if you try and milk every single dollar in a lawsuit here. You will. Mm-hmm. And so I do think this is finally the road that it will provide some level of options. And it's only any regulation is good for Iowa State, because I'll just be real numbers here on the 21st of May. We spent $6 million in NIL last year at Iowa State. Okay. Mm-hmm. Texas, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas Tech were all around $40 or $50 million. Does that work?
No.
And it's not going to get any better.
And because the difference too, it's like because somebody will inevitably point out that baseball doesn't have a cap and stuff. Well, yeah, but the problem is it's like the bad teams get the draft picks higher. Like, right? Like, there's ways to keep it.
And they have contracts,
yeah.
so the Yankees.
So it's like if you're the Royals and you have Bobby Witt, like, you have an opportunity to keep him, and you sign him keep for 4 years. You have him for X amount of years. Like, right now, if you're the Royals of whatever this is, and you have Bobby Witt, and he just decides you're going to go to the Yankees, he can.
That's why this article, it for the first time, like, I think everyone's realizing common sense might step in here over the willingness to win at all costs. And yes, well, there will still be cheating, Chris. Everyone's like, oh, well, they're going to cheat anyway. Well, yeah, but if there is a penalty in place that you will be eliminated from your conference and nobody will play you anymore. So there's two things. One, people have to agree to it. And 2, the first time that somebody violates that thing,
They have to do it.
they got to really hammer them. Like, you got SMU, like, death penalty stuff, because you cannot have the last 3 years where it's like, yeah, well, we have enforcement, but we're not really going to do anything, because then people just do whatever the heck they want anyway. But I do think this is super good, but it doesn't change the fact, C-Dub, that in the short term, Iowa State still has needs beyond what it can provide right now to stay competitive. And that's where, honestly,
Plug your golf tournament.
well, I'm venting. It's Wednesday. It's been an interesting week. I sent out through the Chamber of Commerce and Ames an email to 2,200 businesses last week asking for sponsorship. So we have Aiden, if you could look it up, We Will Collective Alumni Golf Outing. There we go. So we have 130 players that come back. Coach Mack will be there. There's Brett Meyer, Todd Blythe, all the great. Brock came last year. Anyway.
Is Brock coming this year?
To be determined. He might have other obligations, but he was there last
He's
year.
got a few things happening.
So anyway, I sent out a note via the chamber to 2,200 Ames businesses to sign up to be like $1,000 sponsor. 0 response.
Wow.
And so it's like
Zero.
I mean, we're trying here, and we're trying to engage everybody, but it's gonna take more than just the same old all the time, and that includes the state, includes all the creative things. So what I'm asking of all of you right now, your support in the short term is important, even if you want to be a personal sponsor to sponsor hole and put your name on it.
$1,000 isn't that much.
We'll get you some signed stuff from the
something like
guys that are there, and it's a really neat deal. But support of Iowa State athletics is going to be really critical until we get more guardrails, and even then. But I guess the point of all that is, I feel really good about if these things can go through, that this could potentially be more than just a Band-Aid. It could put what would be a stitches? I mean, it's not going to solve it forever.
It's glue.
But it's glued. It's glue over the wound of college athletics right now.
They're using the glue more and more in the vets.
Are they?
The vets, I know that, yeah.
I've never had to use that.
Hear about it all the time. The only reason I know is because I was in my storage unit.
Didn't you hit your head?
I dropped that bike on my head and it started gushing with blood and they glued it. I didn't even know that was a thing. All right, good stuff. I hope that everybody...
Oh, by the way, one last thing. Congrats, Emily Ryan.
Oh, yeah, good point. Good poll.
How about that?
I didn't know that was coming, did you?
I did. Well,
I knew that
it
it was a conversation, but I didn't know it was like official.
And the cool part is her teammates love her. And so now you have just coach there, which
she's basically, she can extend that leadership role from the last couple of years. Yeah. It really won't. If you're a grad assistant, can you practice? Mm-hmm. So that'll be good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So actually really cool for her because she wants to coach and she'll be great at it. But then also like a Jada Williams now has a mentor already in the room. And then great respect for Emily and happy for her, one of the all-timers.
Good stuff right there. We're not doing a Wiffles hybrid Big 12 segment because that was basically a Big 12 / world
of college
status. We do need to, I think, in the next couple of weeks, we need to start our research into Big 12 football.
I can't wait.
Because that is just around the corner. I mean, I always say that it always feels like, for me at least, when the 4th of July hits, that's the end of summer. And then we have an early week 0.
3 months away from the first game.
Yeah. So it's like, this is all, like, I know it's crazy. It feels like we just got done with spring ball, but it is right around the corner. So we need to I feel like we need to start doing some dives onto these guys.
They start practice in 2 months.
I thought about having a couple of our, maybe we don't do guests very often, but maybe have like Duke come in. My guys over at the Baylor site, 360.
I would love to chat with those guys.
Smokey.
Do we put Kurtz on the air?
I don't know.
Let's do it.
I like Kurtz.
Let's do it. We got to do a K-State, Iowa State.
I like Kurtz.
Okay. We'll throw some bagpipes on there.
He is what he is. You know,
love you, Kurtz.
And those Kansas State guys think the same thing of us. So it's like, let's have an open mind. I think that would be fun this summer.
Let's do a crossover.
This is the first summer where like the shit hasn't just been hitting the fan. At least not yet.
Not yet. Yes.
All right. Mechdyne is our presenting sponsor as well here on Cyclone Fanatic. And I appreciate all of you for hanging out with us here on a Wednesday. For Brent Blum, my name is Chris Williams. We will be back on Sunday night. Will we have a Sunday night? We'll figure it out.
It's
a
Memorial
holiday
Day
weekend. We'll figure
Yeah.
it out. We'll make sure you guys get a podcast in some capacity. Oh, also one other, Elise and Theo graduation day tomorrow.
Going to kindergarten.
Too bad we didn't pull up a picture of those two. Preschool graduation coming up tomorrow. So Bloom and I will both be out of pocket.
What class will they be at Bondurant for our high school? Be the class of, hold on, quick math. 2038.
Jeez.
2038. So 2039.
Watch out, Iowa State.
Look out, Iowa
University.
State athletics.
He's Brent Blum. My name's Chris Williams. Back on, if not Sunday, will be shortly after that. Thanks to Aiden Wyatt for producing. Like, subscribe, review, all that good stuff. Later.